Tonight on Lost Gear, I do a burnout, flip crashing into a truck, and flip crashing on my own. Today we're talking about race cars again here on Lost Gear. After open wheelers, classic rally cars and endurance prototypes, we'll be covering GT racers once again. Now we've already covered 3 very different GT racers in an earlier episode, so today we're gonna look at some very similar GT racers, all by British manufacturers. These are the Ocelot Lynx, the Dewbauchee Massacro Racecar and Dewbauchee's latest GT challenger, the Specter Custom, which pretty much made the Massacro obsolete, but hey, we've already seen all the cars outperform newer ones here. Lost Gear fans know the drill. Let's look at the prices first. The cheapest of these 3 is the Massacro with $385,000, reasonable price for a race car. Second comes the Dewbauchee Specter Custom with a little over $851,000. For this one, you need to buy the standard Spectre for $599,000 and upgrade it at Benny's for another $252K. And now prepare for one of the most rude prices we have ever seen in now 21 episodes of Lost Gear. Time is really flying. The Ocelot Lynx is $1,735,000. That is more expensive than the Ocelot Pariah we have seen in the last episode that tops the sports car timesheets right now, and spoiler alert, the Lynx is not at all capable of producing a similar time on our test track, but more on that later. Now GT racing is seen as one of the purest forms of motorsport that exists in the eyes of many petrolheads. And you can easily see why. It's pretty accessible, and the cars used here are pretty close to regular, somewhat affordable road cars, though somewhat affordable is kind of an exaggeration here. I mean, the standard Massacro and Spectre are still a lot more than 100k, but an open wheel racer or an endurance prototype is pretty disconnected from your everyday sports car. And for those purists, I will do something I've never done before because it was never really important for me. Listen to the sound of these cars. Now I for one enjoy motorsports if the racing is good, no matter if V12s, turbo hybrids or electric. If I wanted to hear roaring engine sounds, I can just listen to them on YouTube. But I must still say, I've heard better cars. While open wheel racers might fall apart if you just look at them in the wrong way, another notable feature of GT racing is rubbing is still racing here. And by that I mean shoving, pushing, ramming and using the car ahead as your brake is pretty much common. Well, let's be honest, this is pretty common in all of the races in GTA Online, but are these cars able to punt back? Well, let's find out. The Lynx does really well in shoving other cars out of the way while not really getting unsettled too much. Careful with more heavy cars though. The Massacro can push compacts out of its way pretty easily, but fails at cars with similar weight as the Massacro itself. And the Specter Custom, well, you better hope to race in a clean lobby with that one. And with that covered, let's take it to an empty track with our final and probably most important test: which one is the fastest on a Ford Zancudo racetrack? And now our three Brits are joined by a GT racer we've already seen in our Dinka Jester car test. Just like the Massacro, the Dinka Jester also exists in a race car spec, and it will challenge the other three here to determine who is the fastest around a lap. And here we are on our Ford Zancudo racetrack. On the top left it's the Massacro Racecar, top right Jester Racecar, bottom left Specter Custom, and bottom right it's the Ocelot Lynx, and off we go. And we head towards the first corner here, and well, pretty much neck and neck, and let's see which one is the fastest on this long back straight and which one has the best top speed. It looks like both of the Dewbauchees and the Jester pretty good top speed, and pretty much the first ones to reach the Pisswasser chicane. The Lynx already with kind of a gap to the top three. Now the technical bit, and let's see which car is the best one here. And now it seems like the Specter Custom is pretty much the fastest run through here, though the Jester is still with it, so it's really close between these two, between the Specter Custom and the Jester. Now the Massacro dropped down to third, but I think it will be pretty much a photo finish between the Specter and the Jester, but I think the Specter Custom will be coming out on top, and yes, it is. And let's see where this puts our four cars today on our Lost Gear Hall of Fame. No changes on the first page. We have to go all the way down to the fourth page to see the first car of today, which is the Specter Custom in 32. Just a bit of the top sports cars that we've already seen. Then on the next page in 34 we see the Jester race car, also pretty good time. And then on the next page we see the Massacro race car and the Ocelot Lynx in 43rd and 46th respectively. Well, these are no bad times, so they are pretty much in the midfield of the sports cars, but for the Lynx, a huge disappointment, considering this was by a lot the most expensive car we've seen today, and then, well, it was the slowest one of these four. That is pretty much a huge disappointment, but, well, that's what it is. And what do we take from that? The newest car is not always the fastest car, but sometimes it still is. And on that wisdom, we end our show. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe and check out the Lost Gear playlist if you want to see more. Also, don't forget to leave a like with which cars you want to see next. Until then, goodbye.